We are seeing AI tools that can ingest an entire repository and autonomously write, test, and deploy features. The speed of modern development is now dictated by how fast these systems organize data streams into rigid architectural blueprints. For a standard $20 monthly subscription, developers currently have two industry-leading options to achieve this: Google's Antigravity 2.0 and Anthropic's Claude Code. But making a choice here requires a major architectural commitment. This comparison table establishes the baseline. On the left, Google Antigravity 2.0 relies on a VS Code interface, multi-agent orchestration, and the Gemini model. On the right, Claude Code is entirely terminal-based, executes tasks sequentially, and runs on Claude. Both start at that $20 base. When the tool's execution style matches your project's architecture, it becomes an autonomous extension of your development environment. But if you force the wrong workflow onto your project, you will rapidly hit token ceilings, burn through your API budget, and bring development to a complete halt. Choosing a tool effectively means deciding between visual parallel orchestration and terminal-native sequential precision. Let's look at how you actually start working. With Antigravity 2.0, the initial configuration requires defining specialized agent roles, like front-end specialists and testing agents, and selecting your workspace templates before you begin. This side-by-side flowchart maps out the setup process. Antigravity requires a multi-step path to build its Orchestra view, a complex visual dashboard that tracks your entire AI team's progress. That creates a steep learning curve. You have to invest serious time configuring resources and linking repositories before a single line of code is written. Claude Code on the right drops almost all of that. You install via NPM, authenticate, and start chatting directly in your terminal. It is an immediate deployment. However, that frictionless setup has a direct cost. Claude provides zero visual UI feedback. You have to manually inspect every generated code change yourself. Antigravity trades heavy initial setup friction for a rich management interface. Claude gives you zero friction, but it demands absolute comfort working exclusively within a text-based terminal. Once you actually hand these agents a complex multi-file feature request, you will see their physical execution styles diverge completely. This split-screen animation illustrates the core architectural difference. Antigravity uses a dynamic sub-agent system. As you can see on the left, a primary agent spawns isolated workers to tackle API, UI, and database tasks at the exact same time. Running these tasks in parallel creates high daily coding speeds and allows for rapid project scaffolding. The required trade-off is that you, the developer, must step in to actively orchestrate and resolve conflicts whenever those independent sub-agents disagree on the architecture. Now, look at Claude Code's contrasting method on the right. It operates on a strict sequential task loop. It reads a file, writes a change, and tests it, line by line, one after the other. Because it double-checks its work sequentially, this methodical approach yields superior codebase correctness and extremely high benchmark scores for complex logic. The drawback is speed. Because Claude constantly requires you to manually approve diffs at each step, your daily execution rate is much slower. This architectural split shifts your focus. You either become a project manager coordinating multiple agents, or a meticulous pair programmer tied to a single thread. Both of these execution styles carry financial weight. When you scan massive repositories, rolling rate limits and active token budgets dictate how long you can actually work. This stacked bar chart tracks token burn over a 5-hour refactoring session. Antigravity automatically shifts background mapping to a cheaper AI model. You can see its massive flash pool protecting the expensive pro pool, keeping total burn well below the limit line. By utilizing that smart shifting, Antigravity users get access to a massive 1 to 2 million token context window, even on the base $20 tier. Claude uses a standard model context protocol, or MCP, to securely pull full file contents directly from your local directory into the prompt. But because every read and write step is sequential, Claude's token pool drains rapidly. During a large refactor on a base tier, you will easily breach your rolling session cap halfway through the task. To unlock Claude's full 1 million token context window and avoid those roadblocks, you have to upgrade to the significantly more expensive max tiers. If you need to ingest massive code bases on a strict monthly budget, Claude's sequential reading will bankrupt your token pool, but Antigravity's parallel architecture inherently protects it. Making the final decision comes down entirely to the specific constraints of your daily projects. This quadrant matrix maps out the precise developer profile that gets the maximum return on investment from each tool. Antigravity sits clearly in the top left. It is built strictly for front-end or full-stack developers who want to entirely replace their text editor with an orchestrated, multi-agent dashboard for rapid prototyping. The profile for Claude Code looks completely different. Located in the bottom right, Claude Code is built exclusively for back-end architects who focus on precise algorithmic logic, refuse to leave the terminal, and have the budget to support higher subscription tiers. Choose Antigravity if your primary constraints are ingesting massive code bases while protecting your budget. Choose Claude Code if your priority is strict logical correctness and premium terminal integration.